Jacques Korojan knew that he must regain the initiative quickly or all was lost for him. Arajakal was performing the same gesture again with his orb. The aging bounty hunter whipped his right arm around to face Arajakal. He had loaded one of the apple-green spheres into the arm-mounted grenade launcher. He dearly hoped that it would be an effective variant of ordnance. Before Arajakal had enough time to melt the weapon over Jack's arm, there was a convincing thung-poke sound, and the blurry light green ball whizzed through the jungle at the Firemaster. It struck his lower left torso and exploded into a shower of iridescent green pollen. It had enough inertia to knock Arajakal off his feet, but this was not his paramount concern. The pollen that was used in these munitions was from a genetically modified variety of a hybrid of magic-inhibiting plant. Contact with it made spellcasting virtually impossible, even for the very astute and learned. Arajakal recognized the heavily irritating scent of void pollen. From experience, he knew that attempting another spell would be futile. He immediately began his withdrawal, scanning the unpleasantly colored jungle for his other comrades. Garan was closing in fast, moving diligently from tree to tree. He heard the desperate call for help from Siraj, who still effectively restrained. Ada also ascertained that Arajakal was in peril. Jack's elite tactical mind had concluded that the two remaining green pneumatically launched grenades were of the anti-magical variety. When he caught a glimpse of his primary target, Garan Eid, he chambered the red grenade and took aim as his human quarry raced through the vegetation. Garen's fleeting eyes detected Jack's presence, and he instinctively dived solidly to the jungle floor. He was leopard crawling around a broken stump when the grenade was launched. The resulting thunderous explosion was audible for about 2 kilometers. An intense, concentrated force buffeted and perforated Garen's armor and flesh as his limp body rolled like a flung mannequin away from the epicenter of the blast. Splinters of orange-brown wood showered the entire shuddering area as heat and luminescence radiated savagely for an instant from the impact zone. Eid was unconscious and bleeding severely. His titanium plate had absorbed much of the blast, but shrapnel had punctured some of his internal organs and he was dazed from the concussion. A great distance away, Master Ka was partially aware of the group's situation. However, he was not in any position to assist them. He had more serious matters to attend to. The Zanu stone was becoming increasingly unstable to the point where any major expenditure of major power would result in its splintering. For the previous 7 weeks, Ka had spent much of his day repeating a silent mantra that preserved the ancient stone as it was. This day, though, a crisis arose. Ka was in the Zanu chamber delicately repairing the crack in the stone when the octagonal entry portal opened. Jen and Penchak were standing in the entrance, flanked by several other of the more rebellious major nucleus. Master Ka knew immediately that the internal struggle for control that had been simmering for months was about to climax. More to follow.